Well, hey now, everybody. It's the Rob from 106.1 KISS FM here with my tag team partner in podcasting, the best in the world, Jerry Valeri. It's clobbering time. Let's go.
Let's get into these predictions. I'm sad to say I don't have any stuffed animals with me, and I didn't bring my symbols today.
Well, damn. How are we ever going to get through it without all that?
And
what?
I wasn't high on the last podcast. I wasn't high.
I'm shooting with you when I tell you I honestly was thinking that but didn't want to say anything because I was so sure the honest answer was yes.
I wait 4 o'clock in the afternoon in my kid's bedroom, high, playing with his toys on a podcast. That's amazing parenting. Yeah, I wasn't, because my one friend, he was like, were you high? And not even like you thought I had was like on pain medication again. He was like, "Were you smoking weed?"
No, I didn't.
And
think
I was
weed.
like, "No, I'm not smoking weed."
I thought like prescribed pain medication, like Vicodin or whatever.
I was having fun. I thought that was funny.
Yeah, I mean,
it was. And watch that.
It's
the
a
last
fun episode.
7 minutes.
It's different. Go ahead.
The last 7 minutes is one of the. It's so funny to me. It's not our friendship in a nutshell because we're always laughing and joking with each other. But it's this podcast in a nutshell. It's me being a goofball and you being frustrated with us being so stupid all the time.
There's some topics I get really passionate about. There's just some things that I just know innately are true. And what everyone was saying about this Brock Lesnar thing dating back to WrestleMania has been infuriating to me because I just know it's not true. And we don't need to dig it up. And there's also the double fact that it's like it isn't a record. It's so weird to me that everyone even calls it that. But I know you're joking with me now because we've had this conversation off the air. But it's not a record.
Modern era. Let's just move on. Let's go. Come on. We're not talking about that. We're not talking about the greatest Royal Rumble.
Hey, let me ask
Today we're talking about Money in the Bank.
Let me think. Would you call? Let me think of a TV show. I don't know. Think of like Modern Family or The Walking Dead. Would you call? Would you call an episode from 2010 a modern episode?
Yeah, it's modern television. Okay, modern day television.
I don't. I'm over this. Whatever. Let's get into Money in the Bank.
Money in the Bank, baby. Let's do this. I'm excited. I've got the page. I have 10 matches. Do you have 10 matches?
Got 10 matches. I got 10 predictions. Some easier than others. Most matches I didn't have a hard time with. A few.
I was surprisingly cruised through a lot of it.
I'm going to start at the bottom of my list, and we're going to work our way up. Confirmed for the pre-show, I guess. I don't know how people always are aware of where the pre-show matches are, but
yeah, what's pre-show?
According to the article I have from CBS Sports, kickoff show is going to be SmackDown Tag Team Championship, Bludgeon Brothers taking on Gallows and Anderson.
That looks like it would be, of the 10 matches I have, that looks like a pre-show match. It does.
I agree. And there's also like, they were giving us a little bit of stuff to go off of here. Weird stuff with like action figures and dolls and not a whole lot to really sink our teeth into. I don't mind getting things started. I can't see any way SmackDown's Tag Team Championship changing hands on Sunday.
The reign of bludgeoning just got started. They're not going to use the Bludgeon Brothers to crush 2 tag teams just so they can lose to Gallows and Anderson. It's not going to happen. Not yet.
Yeah. And I really don't have, especially on the pre-show, I don't have much to say about that one besides what we've already said.
No, if somebody beats the Bludgeon Brothers, it'll be on a pay-per-view and like in the real spot.
Well, yeah, okay. I see what you're saying now. And then let's just move on to the main card. I've got Bobby Lashley and Sami Zayn. We've had kind of differing viewpoints of this feud. I'm not saying it's amazing storytelling, but I'm saying at least for the course of the build of this pay-per-view, there's been a story here. So I feel like I'm more excited than you are for this match.
Well, I will agree partially. I agree with you that Sami Zayn has leveled up during this feud. But I will also say it was in spite of Bobby Lashley. And so it doesn't make for me a great feud, because a great feud, they both come out looking better. Although it'll be hard to argue that Bobby Lashley doesn't come out of this looking well, because I do have him winning this. I have him winning this feud, but it still does big time favors for Sami Zayn, I think. So I'll go ahead and give you my answers, Bobby Lashley.
Let me ask you this, and yes is a valid answer if you feel this way.
Okay.
Is the only thing that bothers you about Bobby Lashley the smiling?
Yes.
Okay. I'm not sure I disagree.
Yeah. Because the smiling is more than just smiling. The smiling is indicative of his limitations, his inability to sell real emotion, to act like a human being. And, you know, instead of just, I don't know anybody that just takes the crap that Sami Zayn's spewing at him with just smiling the whole time stupidly. Like, at some point, I want to see a range of emotion, and he can't show that to me, or at least he hasn't proven that he can.
You said you haven't
yes,
seen
the answer is yes.
You haven't seen anyone who reacts that way. Have you never seen Apollo Crews?
Well, yeah, and I hate him for the same reason. So, bing boom.
I was going to say Ronda Rousey, but Rousey actually has two emotions, which is one more than Lashley and Crews.
Yeah, she's the Anthony Kiedis of wrestling emotion. He's got two speeds. He's got red hot chili peppers, and then his other speed is give my red hot chili peppers. I get big booze in the bottle bee. I go boom boo. That's him. And then Ronda Rousey is this or.
Correct. Yes, it's all smiles or that one death stare. Are you? By the way, I couldn't tell from that. Are you anti Red Hot Chili Peppers?
I love the Chili Peppers, but the facts are facts.
I'm not saying you're wrong, bro. I'm not saying you're wrong.
So who do you pick in this Lashley fight?
Oh yeah, I didn't even tell you, did I? Yeah, I agree. This is another one I didn't have to think a lot about. I just think Lashley's going to go over, but at least Sami came out. I feel like you said, he leveled up. And I feel like that's true. So hopefully it will do well for both of them, which is what a good feud should do. It's been weird, but it hasn't been bad, in my opinion.
No, I mean, and it's been story driven, and it's the same reason I like the Rollins and Elias thing. I mean, is it the best story ever told? No, but it's a story, and everybody's got a story right now that's good.
All right, let's keep moving. After that, this is not easy. Daniel Bryan, Big Cass.
This is not easy.
It might be stupid reasoning, but really, I just feel like I guess either I have a few reasons or no reasons. But Daniel Bryan, I think, is going to go over. Things working against Big Cass include the fact that, oh, well, actually, this part's wrong. I was going to say that Big Cass won on the last pay-per-view, but that's not true, is it? Bryan won. I still don't change my opinion, though. I think that Cass, I don't want to say he's in the doghouse because I don't believe that he is, but I think that he is still not in the best favor of the company after the whole little person thing. And that was, to be honest with you, I feel like that will be deserved too. I think that was so stupid. If that story is in fact true, which I believe it to be, I don't think he needs to be fired for it, but I think that was just really stupid. And
no, they're gonna put him in the crap for it for a little bit, though.
I think that Cass needs to go over at some point clean, but I feel like Daniel Bryan is probably going to move on from this. And I know that he's kind of in that Ric Flair spot, and that losses don't really hurt Daniel Bryan. I don't know. I just see Bryan winning on Sunday.
It's hard to argue with that. I hung my hat more on the fact that since his return, Big Cass hasn't won at all. Big Cass hasn't had a big win. He's had big moments. He's gotten his heat back, as they say, when, you know, he loses to Daniel Bryan and then at the last pay-per-view. And then the reason in your brain you thought that he'd won is because he lost.
Right.
And then immediately kicked the living hell out of Daniel Bryan and left him laying. Big Cass, you know, I'm really starting to doubt myself now. As I talk my way through it.
I'm the same way. I became less confident the longer I started talking about it.
I have Big Cass winning, and now I'm less confident in that fact. I have Big Cass winning. It does make sense to get Daniel Bryan out of this because the next pay-per-view is SummerSlam, but I don't see them carrying this whole thing all the way to SummerSlam, but I see Cass getting a win at some point over Daniel Bryan, and so I have it here. Not confident all of a sudden, but I have Big Cass. You have Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, and you're writing these down, right?
Mine are already down, so I'm writing yours down. Daniel Bryan, done.
All right. And then we'll move on to another match that, like, I don't know, it came after the last pay-per-view. Why can't I think of the name of the last pay-per-view? Was it Battle? No, Backlash?
Backlash, I think.
Okay, after Backlash.
Yes, it was Backlash because the L was red. Remember, it was the first co-branded pay-per-view.
So it came out of Backlash really hot, and then it kind of fizzled. But Roman Reigns is taking on Jinder Mahal on Sunday.
I've enjoyed this, actually.
They had me at first, but the longer it's gone, it's Roman Reigns and Jinder Mahal. And that's about the best I can say about it. It could be worse.
The bell's got to ring. I mean, that's...
Yeah, the bell's going to ring, exactly. Which, by the way, next week I want to talk to you in detail about this past week, something else to wrestle with.
We will.
So we'll get to that when you use the term and then the bell rang. That's what made me think of it.
So are we both taking who I think we're taking here?
I'm taking Roman Reigns.
Taking Roman Reigns. I mean, it's time for Roman to get a win. It's Jinder Mahal's there for two reasons. He's there to give Roman Reigns a win that won't get Roman booed, and he's there to keep Roman from getting booed.
Listen, after WrestleMania and Greatest Rumble and everything like that, they are asking themselves, who is the one guy Roman won't get booed against? And I think they settled on Jinder.
And they found him. And because Roman's not getting booed against Jinder as much. Hey. I mean, when Roman shows up and no one's in the ring, notice Jinder Mahal comes out first and his promos are first, but when they just show Roman in the back, boos. But anytime they're both in the same situation, nobody can bring themselves to cheer for Jinder Mahal. They can't do it.
Let me also reiterate, I am A-okay with Roman Reigns in these situations. I don't like him in the main event. I don't like him as a champion. I don't think that he is versatile enough to be the face of the company. In these story-driven feuds outside of the main event, this is fine with me. I'm okay with Roman here. Exactly.
Well, we felt the same way about John Cena for the longest time.
You know, I got to go out of order here, so hopefully we'll get to everything. Let's go to the SmackDown Women's Championship.
Okay, okay, we can do that. But you're gonna hate my answer, but we can do that.
Why am I gonna hate your answer?
Because I'm gonna ask you to trust me, and I'm not gonna give you one yet.
Do you want to explain, or do you want me to go?
I can't explain. Go ahead and give me yours, and then I just promise you I will give you my answer. I just can't give it to you yet. You have to trust me. Can you trust me?
Wait a minute. Say this again? You're not going to give me an answer?
I'm not going to give you an answer right now, but during this podcast I will. I just can't give it to you right now.
Does it involve a return?
I can't give it to you now, but I can give it to you before the end of the podcast. Okay. Who do you pick in this? Who do you pick in this?
Okay. This is so weird, but I'm strangely intrigued. I'll just say, since when you factor in the fact that our title matches involve who leaves with the title. Oh, I see where you're going now. Okay. I'm still going to take Carmella. I feel like they have put so much.
I misunderstood you completely. You said SmackDown. I can't give you the answer to the Raw one. I'll give you SmackDown. I'm an ass.
I said SmackDown, didn't I?
You might have. I just heard Women's Championship, and I was like, oh no, how do I explain this to Rob where he doesn't get mad at me?
Dude, this morning I did something I do all the time, and it annoys me about myself, but it's just the way my brain works. I called. We have a listener on the phone who's about to win Taylor Swift tickets. Whose name is something. I can't even. Jennifer, I think.
Okay, Jennifer.
And just sometime throughout the course of the phone call, she becomes Rachel, and I don't know why my brain does this to me, but it does.
Hashtag radio.
And Brittany texted me, like, just so you know, you did it again. You changed the name of the caller.
Don't even tell me. I don't even tell him, Brittany. What are you doing? Don't even tell me.
I would never have known. I would never have known if you didn't say anything.
I do that sometimes where they'll start to like, hey, this is John. And by the end of it, I'm like, all right, thanks a lot. Yeah. And I forget what it is, and I just mumble at the end.
And I'm also the king of, hey, who's this? This is Sarah. Okay, you ready to play the game? What'd you say your name was again?
Yeah.
I just can't. It doesn't stick with me for whatever reason. I have such a hard time with that, and I'm working on it. So you can reveal your choice for SmackDown.
Absolutely. Would you like mine first or second?
I already told you mine.
You say Carmella?
I said Carmella. Yeah.
I'm saying Asuka. I'm saying Asuka gets it.
I feel good about this one.
Asuka needs it. Asuka needs it. I can't believe I'm saying that, but Asuka needs it.
I don't think that Asuka has the stock. I don't think that the company really cares about her much anymore. I think that after WrestleMania, they just said now she's Bayley. Now she's everybody else. I don't think you're going to see her be special anymore. And I'm sorry to say that, but I think that the time of Asuka is behind us, and she's going to become another face in the crowd. And look at how, and this is look at how much emphasis they're giving to a new women's champion. They have a lot of faith in Carmella, who, to be fair, I don't love, but isn't dropping the ball. She's doing a fine job in the position that she's been put in. I do not think she's losing that title on Sunday, and I feel pretty good about that.
Man, I'm not confident again all of a sudden, but it's just hard for me to believe that they're going to bring her in hot. She doesn't lose for like 30 years in NXT. She comes in, she wins the Royal freaking Rumble, the real one. She goes to WrestleMania, then she loses, it blew everybody away. And you're right. I mean, you're not wrong when you say that there has been a de-emphasizing of Asuka. It doesn't quite have the same heat to it and the meat that was there. But I think for that reason, they're going to try to recapture it, and they're going to recapture it by putting the belt on her. And then we're going to have a little Asuka title run. Maybe. I don't know.
I'm not saying you're wrong, but I feel strongly that I disagree with you on this.
If Carmella wins it, I'm going to congratulate her for changing their mind. Because I think when she got it, the plan was to get it off her eventually, soon, transitional, that kind of thing. But you are right. She's been promoting and working her way into making herself a believable champ. She's been very good as champion.
For sure. And then anyone who disagrees with me on this, or not even with the outcome, because I mean, sure, anyone can win on Sunday. But if you don't believe that they're going to de-emphasize Asuka, I'm going to ask you one question.
Oh, so ask me, because I don't think that they. I think they have de-emphasized her, but I don't think that like the end of. I don't think we've seen the end of Asuka. I don't think.
Well, I don't mean she's going to be fired, but I think that that special quality that she had before WrestleMania, I think she's going to become another face in the crowd. And the question I'm going to ask you is
it, because I think we're going to get it back here.
Can you tell me one thing they've done since WrestleMania that's made Asuka feel special?
No, and that's why my answer is she wins the championship here. I think Monday, if you ask me that question, I want to be able to say last night. But if I can't say last night, then you are 100% right, and I will concede that point.
Fair enough. Okay, and I could be wrong, but it's. I feel pretty good about this one. This one I have confidence. Man, they are putting so much into Carmella that for them to pull the carpet out from under her on Sunday just feels so. My knee-jerk reaction is just no way.
Look at us disagreeing on 2 fights already. This is good.
Yeah. Well, I was going to transition into the Raw Women's Championship match, but we obviously know that there's weirdness abounding. Now I'm thinking that I'm assuming what Jerry's reason is that he thinks there might be a cash-in from the Women's Money in the Bank winner. I don't know for sure. You don't have to comment on that if you don't want to.
I will comment on that, and I will say that I know that kind of thing annoys you over time, but I will not do it after today.
Do it whenever you want to.
But I think with this Money in the Bank, I do feel that the winner of the Money in the Bank is going to factor into that match.
What Jerry's referring to is that when the Money in the Bank briefcases are out there, every time we do a predictions episode, there's always people that always have at every pay-per-view someone cashing in. Yeah. And that's what I don't want to say it upsets me, but I'm always just like, guys, it doesn't happen every pay-per-view.
But it could be if it's logically done.
Yeah, and Money in the Bank is a logical place. Like that's not a weird thought, I don't think. This doesn't annoy me.
Okay.
And I'll just go ahead. I feel good about this one too. I don't think there's going to be a cash in. I think that if you want me to be, for the sake of the podcast, my choice is Nia leaves with the title. I think that Rousey wins by disqualification officially. But for like I said, the only thing that really counts point wise is that I've got Nia.
Well, I'm worrying about who leaves with the title is why mine's all gummed up. So I have you having Nia Jax winning. Winning is being champion at the end of the night. Got it.
Okay. Yeah,
right?
I guess.
Okay.
All right, sure. I'm okay with this. Then why
if you want to just dig into all of it, I can explain. I can explain my rationale.
Let's go. Then I'll go out of the order here, and let's move into the women's Money in the Bank ladder match because I assume this ties into it.
Yeah, but do you want me to just explain Raw at the Raw Women's Championship?
Yeah, let's just do it now.
My thinking is they've got themselves in a box here because they can't beat Ronda yet. They can't beat her in her first singles match. I feel like they're in a position where they need to keep her strong and they need to give her a win, but they also can't have her be champ yet because she's not ready for that. She just isn't. So
the latter seems more probable to me than the former, but I agree both are bad moves.
They're both bad moves. So what do? Well, you do what they did at WrestleMania when it was time to get the belt off of Brock Lesnar, but you didn't want Brock Lesnar to get pinned. You have Seth Rollins come out and you beat Roman Reigns, and Brock Lesnar loses the championship without ever losing the championship. So you're going to have Nia Jax losing the championship and having Ronda be able to get out of the match without losing and not being champion. And I think that Nia Jax is going to lose to the person that I have as the Money in the Bank winner for the women. And I think they're going to cash it in that night. And I think it's going to happen during that match. They're going to make it a triple threat in the middle of the thing. My prediction is it feels like the Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar WrestleMania moment. Only Nia Jax is going to be the Roman Reigns, Ronda Rousey is the Brock Lesnar, and my winner of the women's Money in the Bank is going to be the Seth Rollins. Does that make any sense?
100%.
Okay, that's my prediction. I'm not picking either of the people in the match to win the match. That could really screw me when it comes to the Lock of Destiny, but that's my pick.
Well, now's the time. Who's going to win the women's Money in the Bank? And therefore the women's title?
Sasha Banks.
Really?
I have Sasha Banks winning this thing. I don't know why. It came to me in a dream, like an angel spoke to me and said, Sasha Banks is the one that's going to get this.
So I have my Black Kiss t-shirt on. Underneath of it, I always wear another black shirt. I almost wore my femme-looking boss shirts.
That would have been the best to wear your boss shirt the day that I picked Sasha Banks to not just win the Money in the Bank, but to also win the women's championship. She's a good champion. They haven't done much with her right now. Ember Moon's not going to win it. I don't think anyone on SmackDown's going to have it for the sole purpose of Carmella just cashed it in on SmackDown. I don't think they're going to put a women's Money in the Bank on SmackDown again. I think they're going to put it on Raw. Before
I reveal my choice to win this, the women's Money in the Bank, I'm really enjoying this episode. Really good rationales for our reasons, tough matches to call. Been 6 weeks since the predictions episode. It's a Friday. I'm just enjoying this episode.
A+ on a Friday.
A on a Friday, baby. Yeah. I'm going to the most rudimentary reason for my choice to win the women's Money in the Bank.
And I'll run through quickly. It's Lana, Natty, Alexa, Charlotte, Ember Moon, Becky, Naomi, and Sasha.
I read something a little earlier today that made me second guess my choice, but I'm not going to change it. What I read was that there's a big heel turn for some reason in store for Natalya, and that she's actually going to turn on Ronda Rousey in the show Sunday.
Kill me now. I was about to tell you, if you pick Natty to win this thing, we might not be friends.
But that still did not sway me from my original gut instinct. Like I said, my rationale is the most rudimentary reason why. It's the reason that we have Money in the Bank in the first place. And that is to create new stars. And it is typically used for people who have never won that title before and give them an opportunity out of nowhere that they may not have otherwise had. And
I'll be fair to Rob and say that we used this rationale last year, and you were right both times.
Doesn't mean I am this time. I don't have great confidence in this choice, but I look at the names in here, and yeah, there's some people who have never won a women's title before. Like, at least I don't believe Lana ever has.
No, you're not picking Lana.
I'm not picking Lana. I'm going to go with Ember Moon.
Sound. And now I'm starting to get all stressed.
Dude, you've got threads going into this whole thing, and like I said, I just read before this podcast that there's supposedly plans for Natalya. So, and
I know it wouldn't happen, but how cool would it be? The only way that Lana winning the Money in the Bank would make me happy is if Rusev also won it, and they both had them. Like, that's the only way that I'd accept it.
If Lana won?
If Lana won and then Rusev won, and then they have Aiden English carry both.
That would be good.
It would be good.
Okay, so then that leaves us with the men's, the championship, and the Intercontinental Championship. Is that right?
Yes, 3 matches to go.
Let's go to the Intercontinental Championship.
Okay.
Seth Rollins.
I've enjoyed this feud a bit.
It's been okay. It hasn't been my favorite. But I mean, Rollins is a guy who I would say consistently is probably having the best matches of the night. He's taking on Elias, who's got some steam now. I think he's finally at the point where him winning doesn't seem out of left field for me. What do you have here, Jer?
I'd like to start by saying one of my favorite things to hit people with in professional wrestling has always been the guitar.
Oh, I thought you were going to say a Dave's Double from Wendy's.
Oh, come on. No, in wrestling. The neck brace is low-key one of my favorite props in wrestling, but my favorite weapon is the guitar. I love I love the big old bong across the head with the guitar. I liked when the Honky Tonk Man did it. I loved it when Jeff Jarrett did it. And I like it when Elias does it. I like the guitar shot. So this feud already has a leg up for me. And, I mean, Seth Rollins took one to the back, and he went off the table, and that was great. And then he smashed the custom-made gift from John Mayer. He smashed it with his feet. What a jerk. What a jerk move.
I don't know if I have a favorite prop, but I definitely have a least favorite prop.
What's your least favorite prop? On a pole?
A sledgehammer.
Oh, well, it was cool at first, but he always hits people with it the wrong way.
Right, that's the thing. If wrestling was real, you would never use it the way they use it. I hate sledgehammers in wrestling.
You swing it like that.
Yeah, if you're trying to hurt someone, you'd hit them with the heavy end.
Yeah, you don't hit them with your hand. It's blocking the metal part.
Like Bruce and Conrad said, you got a hammer. You choke a guy with it. McMahon did that to win the ECW title or something.
Yeah.
Come on now.
I don't see Seth Rollins losing. I don't. I mean, I could go on and on and on and on about why he shouldn't and he shouldn't lose and how good Elias is doing and he's getting heat and blah blah blah. But Seth Rollins is the only steady champion on that show right now, and he's doing a good job of it. They're not taking it off of him.
Agreed. Just pretty much for the same reason you said. He's doing a good job. I think they've got plans for him. I think that they'll probably take it off of him when it's time for him to move into the main event picture, which will probably happen, but I don't think it's going to happen on Sunday.
Right. And, the reality is with Brock Lesnar as your champion, you have to treat your Intercontinental Champion as the show's champion most Monday nights. So you better have somebody that can carry it, and Seth Rollins can.
All right. Do you want to do why don't we go ahead? You pick title match or Money in the Bank men's.
Well, I don't have one affecting the other at all. I don't know if you do, so it doesn't matter to me. We could.
No,
why don't we?
Which one do you think's going to go last?
I think that AJ and Shinsuke will, because even if someone doesn't cash in, you know what they'll like. You know what they like to do. They like to whoever won it earlier in the night. Maybe their music hits and they come out and they just hold it up and remember me. Something stupid like that. That could happen. I think so. I always think Money in the Banks, they try to put those before the title matches. So you have that. Are they going to? Could they? Will they? So I think Money in the Bank will not go last.
Okay, so you think do you think AJ and Shinsuke will go last?
I do.
Okay, then let's go ahead and do the ladder match then. Men's Money in the Bank ladder match: Braun Strowman, Finn Balor, Miz, Rusev, Bobby Roode, Kevin Owens, Samoa Joe, and a New Day member. And wow, I forgot who I wrote down. I thought I had someone different written down, but oh man, I forgot who I wrote down. Huh, interesting. All right.
Whoa. Well, I'll start. Do you want me to start, or do you want to start? Do you legit forget who you picked?
No, I've got it written down. I just thought I wrote someone else down. This is one I went back and forth on. I had such a hard time with this one. And at some points in the night, in the day rather, I had a name written down. I was going back and forth specifically with two people. And now I'm going to stick with the name I've got written down. I'll just say that this whole episode, I was in the back of my head, I thought I had Rusev winning this match, but I don't. And I don't think Rusev is a bad answer. I don't know who Jerry has.
Rusev would be a great answer for the reason you gave earlier for Ember Moon. Really build somebody. I know he's had championships before, but not this one. And the crowd would go freaking nuts.
Yeah, well, and I can see him being like the funny guy who, I just feel like that he's the right kind of heel for the briefcase. And like my understanding was that earlier in the year around the Greatest Royal Rumble, he was having a problem with his spot on the card, and that they decided my understanding was it was like, hey, I need to be used better or I'm leaving. And they said, okay, we're going to use you better. And so I do think that there are things happening for Rusev, and I think he's a great choice for this. And I mean, he could definitely win.
Wow, man, you're very persuasive today. You're killing me. You're making me doubt all of my answers.
I'm making me doubt my own answer now, because the name I have written down is Samoa Joe. Is that who you have?
That's who I have. And I want to change it to Rusev now.
So do I.
I feel like we both picked SmackDown guys because of Brock Lesnar. Because, I would like to say that Kevin Owens gets it, because I think Kevin Owens is the perfect heel for a Money in the Bank. He's a snake. He's great on the mic. He's funny when he needs to be. He's ruthless when he needs to be. But they're not going to give it to him, and then Brock Lesnar only shows up twice, I had three names I was going between. And I had, it was Kevin Owens, it was Samoa Joe, and it was Big E, actually.
Really?
They're gonna split the New Day up. You might as well make it worthwhile and put one of them near the top.
I mean, that's my understanding too, but I wouldn't call that a slam dunk or a layup or whatever. Like, I'm not saying it's totally happening that New Day is going to break up. But
do you think it's like Big E?
I feel really good about that. It's Big E. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's going to be Big E too. So he could get it. I have Samoa Joe, and I have Samoa Joe, for a couple of reasons, but now I'm doubting it. Now I'm doubting it.
Me too, bro. I suck.
But I wrote mine down.
And I wrote mine down too, and I'd be lying if I changed it to Rusev. So I'll keep it with Joe. But you know what? There's reasons why I think it's Joe. Joe hasn't had that title run yet. Joe is bankable. I think that the company, while they have question marks about Rusev, they have exclamation points about Samoa Joe. I think that Joe will be a good, intimidating force with that briefcase. And I can see it. I can just see him with the briefcase, always holding that over people's heads. I think that he's every bit as good a choice as Rusev is.
And it's very believable for him to be a world champion. I really see him going after whoever. I mean, he's had incredibly great matches with both guys that are in the main event here. So no matter which way that goes, he could have good matches with Shinsuke Nakamura, and he could have good matches with AJ Styles, and they're probably banking on something like that, maybe. Or maybe he doesn't cash it in for a year. Who knows? But I think Samoa Joe, as long as he can stay healthy, I think he's the guy they want to go with.
And I think, I mean, really anybody in this match could do it. I really think that. Like, I mean, even the furthest stretch, which to me is either Bobby Roode or the New Day member, both make sense. So, I mean...
And the Miz makes sense, and Finn does make sense.
And
Braun Strowman's almost too easy an answer.
That's the thing, but also, I mean, he doesn't lose very much, man. Even if it's a 50-man Royal Rumble, it's, you know, he's got a really good track record right now, and they don't want to pull the plug on that. So any choice on this one, I'm not going to say is a weird choice. Hey, by the way,
we both picked Samoa Joe.
I forgot to mention, it's really looking like in that women's ladder match or in the women's title match for SmackDown, it's really looking like we're going to see our buddy James Ellsworth. That's a hot take. I've been reading it. It keeps coming up. He just canceled a show in China this weekend. Look for the turtle without his shell on Sunday.
Are they going to try to redeem themselves for having a man win the first women's Money in the Bank last year?
I don't know which way they're going to do it. I could see him either helping Carmella win by DQ, or I'm sorry, retain by DQ, or being a horse's ass in the women's ladder match.
Oh, man. Wouldn't it be funny if he won the women's ladder match again and handed it to somebody new?
I mean, there's a lot of ways they can do that, but I'm telling you, I'm not just being a goofy mark. Really good likelihood we're going to see him on Sunday.
I would like it. Wear your Ellsworth shirt on Monday if he shows up.
I think I could probably do that.
Yeah.
What's and then let's get to the last match. This one is really hard for me too. Okay, so I feel like at WrestleMania, my argument was I don't think Nakamura is going to be a champion because with really the SmackDown champion being the most visible champion of the entire roster of both brands, I think that they're not going to want someone with such a limited capacity on promos to be a world champion. And I also feel like we may have gotten to the point over the past 3 months that has become null and void, that Nakamura could be a good champion at this point, despite his limitations with the English language. And it just feels like if Nakamura doesn't win on Sunday, how many chances is he going to get? All that being said, I still don't think AJ is going to lose. And I'm going with AJ.
AJ Styles. Let's put it down right here. We use the term for Sami Zayn leveling up. I think people would probably be offended by me insinuating that Shinsuke needed to level up. I mean, he came in and everybody loved him and everybody was already calling him one of the best and giving him 5-star matches and all that jazz. But on the main roster, Shinsuke Nakamura had plenty of room to level up. And from WrestleMania till now, he has done so. Since that heel turn, he has improved exponentially. He has become someone I want to root against. He has become somebody that I love to see on my television, and I know what he can do in the ring. I just needed the character to come along with it, and it has. I don't speak English, and I think I understated how much I loved how he announced it was going to be a last man standing. I loved it. He's not telling you what the stipulation is going to be, and then he beats the hell out of AJ and keeps him down and starts counting to 10. I thought that was That was storytelling, man. And that was good. And I love it. And I love a good story. Every good story has a beginning, a middle, and an end. And the beginning was the Royal Rumble and the mutual respect and WrestleMania match. It didn't quite have what we wanted going into it, and it was an okay match. And then low blow, and then the middle were all the low blows, and then the turning of the heel, and then the building of the story. And the end is coming on Sunday. And if it's anything less than a 4-star match, if it's anything less than a match of the year candidate, I'm going to be disappointed. I've set myself up. I've been so excited for this match. I'm so excited for this feud. I've enjoyed it so much. But this is the end of the feud. And it ends happily. AJ Styles gets the win. AJ Styles keeps the championship. AJ Styles will be the champion going into SummerSlam. But Shinsuke Nakamura is in good shape. So I think
swerved me, bro.
So I think AJ Styles is the winner.
Oh, you swerved me.
Did I? I feel like I walked you right into her.
You swerved me. No, I thought you were going right with Shinsuke. I should have known better.
Shinsuke's done such a good job, hasn't he, though?
I agree with everything you said about him leveling up, about the beginning, middle, and the end, about it finally becoming a good story, which it wasn't for a long time, but they'd gotten it there. And I will also say, after this episode, I'm more excited for Sunday than I was going into it. It's actually been maybe a better build than I've given it credit for.
Well, look at the matches that have stories to them, whether they've been the best or not. I mean, because you'll sometimes get matches that just don't have a lot attached. Daniel Bryan and Big Cass. Story? Agree?
Yeah, agree.
Rollins and Elias. Story?
Yeah.
Lashley, Sami Zayn. Story?
For sure.
Jinder Mahal, Roman Reigns.
Sure.
AJ Styles, Shinsuke Nakamura.
Yes.
Ronda Rousey, Nia Jax.
Yes.
Carmella, Asuka.
Gonna pass on that one.
Bludgeon Brothers and Gallows and Anderson.
Also pass it on that one.
And then you've got the Money in the Banks. So for the most part, you've had all stories.
Yeah, no, and it's also something that happened here late in the game. So, all right, man. So real quick, run me down. Where do we disagree?
We disagree. You pick Daniel Bryan. I pick Big Cass. You pick Carmella, and I pick Asuka. That'll be a fun one to watch. You pick Nia Jax leaving as champion in hell or high water. And I have Sasha Banks beating Nia Jax and walking out the champion, which also reveals that I have Sasha Banks winning Money in the Bank. You have Ember Moon.
Hey, by the way, I want to address something real quick. If, in fact, let's say this happens. Let's say Nia wins somehow, and then Sasha cashes in. I feel like we're both right.
Okay. That sounds good to me. I still get the edge because Sasha has... For that to happen, Sasha had to have won the Money in the Bank, so I'll take it. But
I'm saying if there is a clear winner between the two, like if there's a winner when it's just a 2-person match, if Jax gets the title, leaves with the title, and there's a bell ring and all that stuff, then I feel like that's a push. And then Sasha comes. I'm okay with that because in my explanation, I said that it's going to be like that WrestleMania. And the WrestleMania became a triple threat. It wasn't a one-on-one. Right, that's true. And like I said, but there needs to be a winner for mine to be a push. Because I feel like they can't... I feel like having a winner in that match without it being a third party is a bad move either way. Okay. Like, you've got to protect Ronda somehow, but you can't give her the belt yet. No way. All right, so we got Cass and Bryan. We got... I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. So both the women's matches. Both women's matches, Cass and Bryan, and the women's Money in the Bank. So 4. Hell yeah. It's 40%. Bring it on. All right, buddy. Hey, thank you for another great episode. I'm so happy with the predictions episode. It's been 6 weeks. It was nice to get one back on. And Post to Post Universe for sure. We love seeing your predictions in the comments section. Please let us know what you think, because there's some crazy possibilities this time around. Yeah, it's going to be fun. All right, for myself, my tag team partner in podcasting, Mr. Jerry Valeri, we will be back on Monday with a recap episode of what's turning into a decent show to me. Money in the Bank this Sunday. Check us out on Monday here on Post to Post.